Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Timmy. I race for SJBC. You might have seen me a couple times on Jeff Linder's Alviso videos, as well as some fast-paced group rides that occur weekly in the Bay Area. But anyways, this is the Lodi Criterium. It is a fast and flat 8-corner crit with some technical corners that are paved with, I guess, bricks, but not too bad. It does get a little bit bumpy sometimes. We do have $5 premium laps up for grabs that occur randomly, so that's why you see me sprinting here. But yeah, that's my secondary objective, and the primary one is just winning this race. So my main goal of this race was to be at the front spearhead squadron of this race. So that meant being anywhere between 5th or 6th wheel throughout the entire race and maintaining a steady and constant power. I wanted to race this race on my own terms, as well as be able to monitor any moves that could go. And yeah, I'm no solo breakaway artist, but any attacks from here, I'd be pretty confident in being able to hook on and follow them. So yeah, 8-corner crit, fast, technical corners. I felt like anything slower than 25 miles an hour would just put you at victim to guys swarming up on your sides. So I didn't want to give them any of that leeway coming into every single one of these corners. So I chose my lines, tried to be as sharp as possible coming in and out of them, and yeah, just maintaining a decent position. So let's see how the rest of this race unfolds. So what made this race hard early on was that there were guys trying to establish a break by forcing a selection. So the field just slowly whittled down in terms of numbers every time we crossed that finish line. An attack flies on the left, so it gets pretty surgy. The field tries its best to latch back on as quickly as possible because we don't want a guy soloing off the front on his own, or even worse, drag others with him and form a mini break. So yeah, this race had a lot of those tiny surges and moves trying to get away. That's why I wanted to be in the prime position to respond to them. So I guess 6th wheel was pretty reasonable. But yeah, just as much surging in the front as there was in the back. So normally when an attack gets brought back, there would generally be another counter that follows, especially when guys are side by side like this, riding 4 abreast. The pace is just too slow, but I was surprised because the pack actually got some respite. I guess it was just too hot of a day, and like I said before, these corners, if you're on the wrong wheel and you're hitting the brakes and accelerating out of them, it can be quite taxing on the body. So yeah, inefficiencies in mid-pack racing probably did in the guys behind me. So pretty happy that I was able to catch a breath here and still maintain my position. So a key move happens here without us really realizing at the time. So James, I believe is his name, yellow jersey from Dolce Vita, he chooses one side of the road, which is the left, and he just puts the power down, just gradually at first. I don't think at the time he realized that he formed a gap just by doing this. The 2 guys in front aren't doing anything to close it down, and with every corner that James makes, he just opens a gap that's bigger and bigger. So now that you can see him just flying off the road, because once he looked back, he just realized, oh, I guess I can go solo because YOLO. So yeah, I don't know why we weren't keen on chasing this down. I guess everyone was just tired, or just really didn't believe that one guy could solo this race with more than half the time remaining. So panic sets in and CBRE realizes just how big of a gap has formed. So he puts in a surge right here, and this is including the fact that he's basically almost pulled for a full lap already, and Mike's is just on his tail. I don't know why, but ideally in this situation, Mike should have rotated around him just to keep the pace high. So right now it's slowing down, and I'm aggressively checking my left shoulder, and what do you know, an attack goes, and I need to respond to this one because it looks like a chase effort that's going to go the distance. Um, I would much rather have a small group of guys working hard together, doing steady pulls to bring back that one solo rider, rather than me trying to bridge across in no man's land. Because yeah, I'm just not built for that type of distance, and I need to save what I can for the sprint, right? So yeah, we're on the tail of Cam right here, and we're just gonna try to pull it back and reduce that gap we have. Right now it's sitting about 20 seconds since the time that Dolce Vita went off the front. So I'm going to take a really long pull here just to show the commitment I have in making this chase group work. I have more than enough legs left, and we have more than half of the race to bring back that one guy. So I'm pretty confident if we can keep the speed high and rotate through, we can narrow down that time gap. So yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward here and see where that gets us. So at this point in the race, it just looks like everyone's getting tired from surging out those corners, and yeah, gaps just start opening up in midfield. So obviously I have to close them down. I can't just let two riders go off the front like this and ride off into the sunset. One of them is CBRE's, and judging from the way he races, I think he can definitely go the distance. The rider he has behind him is getting tired, so I attack, go around him and try to get on CBRE, and hopefully we can work together. But unfortunately, when I do manage to get right behind him, it just seems like his pace is slowing down. He's waiting for someone to rotate through, but no one is there except for me, right? So if he slows down this pace here, it's just going to disrupt the rhythm that we have. So I need to go around him just to keep the pace consistent and high, and I drag some guys behind me as well during this effort. At this point, I just keep going. No one's really trying to rotate around me, and I just keep the speed consistent and smooth. Watt's not too shabby. I swing all the way to the right side here, just so if guys do pass me, they can only pass me on the left and not the right. So that's what they do. I get two riders in front of me. It's Cam and James from Penvelo. And I think Cam right here tries to launch an attack off the front, and Penvelo is struggling. So briefly, you can hear my frustration here because I already closed down a big gap, and now I have to do another surge to close this one.
Get out! Go, I already chased!
So unfortunately for me, Cam opens up a huge gap that I can't close on my own because I just took a really long pull earlier. So I need to be a little bit patient, and luckily Mike's bike slots in and closes that gap down for me, or at least halfway. So definitely thank you for that. I thought I was lost in no man's land, and yeah, we eventually managed to bring it all back together and continue the chase effort as a pack. So Cam gets caught here, and almost immediately a well-timed counter-attack goes. The pack is at this point again pretty tired from all that chasing and surging from behind, so no one's able to respond to this counter, and another solo rider tries to close the gap to the 22nd Dolce Vita guy that's no longer can be seen in the distance. So yeah, we just keep rolling for, I guess it's already 75% completed of this course. So I get a little bit nervous here because I see Dolce Vita's teammate take up the front of the pack, and I immediately tell the guys in front of me to rotate around him, because what Dolce Vita's trying to do is disrupt the flow of the chase. And if his teammate gets caught, then obviously the Dolce Vita guy sitting in the pack can attack and let his teammate rest, right? So I need to keep that yellow jersey in check, make sure he doesn't do any funny business, and at the same time keep that speed high so we can catch the soloist that's still, I think, 20 seconds up ahead in the field. But with every other lap, that time is slowly getting reduced. So it was initially 20 seconds, 20, 20, and then we heard 17, 17, 15, and then 12. So I think we are making progress at this point, and that soloist is getting tired. and getting slowly brought back. Somehow a move flies off the front and the guys directly behind it aren't able to respond in time, so I need to expend some power right here just to hook onto those wheels up front. So the chase is on. Andrew from CBRE, Cam, and myself, we just go full gas and we catch the two guys who created that mini gap in our field, right? So rather than slowing down, we just go around them and carry all of our speed and just slingshot through. So now in the headwind straight, I'm doing 30 miles an hour behind Cam's wheel, 300 to 400 watt acceleration, but the effort's very smooth and controlled. We also cut these apexes like a boss, so no one can come on the inside. And I just love how the synergy and teamwork played out here. We're just keeping our efforts super efficient and controlled, but also methodical, so no one's gonna disrupt this effort. So once Cam flicks me through here, I'm just gonna take my pull and hopefully someone behind me can do the same afterwards. But yeah, I'm liking the speed, 30 miles an hour. This is what a chase should look like. So I finished my pool here, and rather than reinserting myself all the way back at the peloton and having to move up later, I assert myself and swing hard so I can get my 4th position back. This is because I really like how this chase group is forming along. The speed is pretty high, and we finesse these corners much more nicely than anyone else could at the rear or even in the middle of the pack, right? So coming into near the finish of this race, I just want to keep everything in check and have it play out on my terms. Yeah, so a few laps later, I decided to let more guys get in front of my wheel just because I didn't feel like the pace was fast enough with me being near the front. So I didn't want to disrupt the chase pattern by slowing down the speed. I let more guys through just so they can do a little bit more work, and I get some rest behind them as well. So I think we're maybe 6th or 8th wheel right now, so still looking good. So right here I make a rookie mistake. I was supposed to be bar and bar with Mike's bikes, but unfortunately I wasn't carrying enough speed, so I had to hit the brakes, otherwise the door would just get shut on me and I would crash into his rear wheel. But anyways, after that hard acceleration, it seems like the field slows down on our right here. Mike's bikes goes on the left, puts in a big dig, and I just happen to be in the right place at the right time. I follow him without any hesitation. We rail the next corners and we just keep the speed high and carry our momentum through. If there's any guys behind us right now, they'd be chasing as well. So yeah, up in the distance you can already see that solo rider being brought back slowly. And I think the gap right here is anywhere from 10 or 12 seconds. So we're definitely making some progress. This is the second to last lap, by the way. Alright, so 1 to go, last lap. Fun and games have ended, or I guess started, based on how you look at it. For me, I'm playing mind games with the guys in front and behind me. Unfortunately for Mike's bikes, he does flick me through a couple times, but I just don't respond because it just doesn't make any sense for me to do a rotation right here. I'm just shoulder checking my left side, I'm hugging the right side of the road, so if any attacks go, they'll be flying on my left. And as expected, they do, so we have to bring it up to 800 watts just to sprint and hook onto their slipstream. I have to fight for my wheel with Andrew from CBRE here. I try my best to take this corner as wide as possible, but get my bars in front of him. And unfortunately, Mike's bikes at this point has been pulling quite a bit, so I can already feel him fading. I do another surge and I go around him because a gap just forms right here. I get the better line. I also cheekily cut the apex of that corner super cleanly so that nobody can come in from my left side, and Cam does just the same thing on the guy in front of him. So he takes that corner on the inside super fast at 30 miles an hour, and a magical moment happens right here. We actually catch the guy, the Dolce Vita guy, who's been off the front for like half of this race. So we're just coming in hot in the last corner at turn 8, and let's just see how that sprint unfolds for me. So it's a mad dash dash for the line and a bike throw at the end, and I did manage to get second, which was a big achievement on my part. Yeah, it just comes down to the fact that if you're a strong sprinter, generally the first person out of that last corner, turn 8, wins the race just because of how short that straightaway is. So Cam did a really good job finessing turns 6, 7, and 8 throughout the whole way and keeping the pace high, and it was just a really nice photo finish for the two of us and the field that was gapped behind. So yeah, fun race, would definitely do it again. It occurs on a hot summer day in downtown Lodi. Huge thanks to Sky Express for putting on this show. There was plenty of parking and restaurants for spectators to hang out and chill by while watching the race. Can't wait to be back. Peace.